he creates a YouTube video where he uses an aimbot and then he makes content about it and saying that he's going to 100% get banned. Then something happens that you guys will never expect. In an insane turn of events, he gets banned. Okay. Yeah, the problem is I'm not sure. I'm not sure if my opinion's right on this. So I'm just gonna like, this is not gonna be like one of those talks where we talk and I'm like, hey, this is correct because it's backed by data and science. This is like more of like an opinion thing, where I can't be like too sure that I'm actually right here, because there's a lot of like subjective stuff. But yeah, let's see. So here's what I think is going on here. We don't really need the MS Paint for this one, so we're just gonna bust out our trusty notepad. At me when Devin yells at notepad. So a Fortnite YouTube creator, Jarvis, who happens to belong to our favorite organization, FaZe Clan. A clan of upstart, sophisticated individuals who never, ever do anything questionable and always run their business above water. Kid here, big emphasis on... And I feel like, there's a lot of news sources that are getting this wrong. So let's do, the first thing we should do, let's just get the data right. Let's get what happened correct, okay? Named, what's the proper, is a kid proper in 2019? Named Jarvis. Created a YouTube video. So he didn't compete in a tournament. He didn't do anything in a tournament. He created a YouTube video where he used an aimbot, and made content about it. Okay, and in this video, we need to pull up like the scores video on this. What was the YouTube video we just watched? Because there's a one part of it that I want to emphasize where we found it. I just want to find his quote right here.
Aimbot, you'll get banned really easily because your aim's so good in your first game. So we're just gonna play a game or two without aimbot. So the Fortnite, the Fortnite police, I don't know who's watching me, don't catch me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get banned instantly.
So then he has another quote here where he says something like,
before we kill anyone, I really just want to say, never use aimbot, okay? Never ever use aimbot in your whole life. Never do it. You're gonna get banned. I'm 100% gonna get banned on this account. So never ever do it, guys.
I'm 100% gonna get banned on this account, okay? So let us shed any wonder if this guy had any doubt that he was gonna get banned. Fast forward to Tears apologetic video. Oh my God, I got banned. Yeah, dude. so he is 100% getting banned for doing something that he knew he was going to get banned for. And he creates a YouTube video where he uses an aimbot and then he makes content about it and saying that he's going to 100% get banned. Then something happens that you guys will never expect. In an insane turn of events, he gets banned. Okay. So he's banned for life. Forever. All time. And FaZe, I gotta get this in there, okay? This is not really relevant to the video, but I don't care. FaZe sits there and lets him do it, right? Nobody in FaZe at any point in time went out and been like, hey, it's not a good idea to do, dude. Maybe we should have some responsibility over our people that we put in our company to actually tell them how they ought act or something. But I can't do that because I'm too busy trashing hotel rooms allegedly in Las Vegas and costing allegedly $30,000 to hotels and drinking so much that I can't even see straight, rather than run my actual organization. But anyway, let's get back to the actual topic at hand, shall we? All right. So the real question here for me is, and this is well said by the score video, does the punishment fit the crime? Okay. Should he have been perma-banned for this? And the case that I want to compare this to, and people are going to immediately be like, well, you can't make this comparison, but I'm going to make this comparison, is there was these two guys, Xiff and Renaldo, that pretty clearly colluded in a pro tournament and then were banned for 2 weeks and then had to requalify and did and continued to compete. Now, there's not conclusive evidence that they cheated, but it's pretty conclusive. And if you want to watch a really good video on it, we watched Cypher PK's video on this. This pro cheated to qualify for a World Cup. We watched this video on this, and like it's like he goes through in like the first few minutes and pretty clearly outlines, like goes through the clips and pretty clearly outlines, like from how a pro perspective, it'd be pretty difficult to believe that this was not. It looked to me like collusion. And I will remind everyone that Valve banned a team permanently from the game for colluding. And that I actually think that colluding is a really serious offense in esports. Because colluding is one of those things, and this is why I'm going to compare it, okay? So the thing that Jarvis did, the issue here is that Jarvis encouraged people to actually use aimbots. Even though he said, like, guys, never use aimbots. Like, okay, come on. You're like, you're using an aimbot to your channel of 2 million subscribers, and you're laughing about it and saying how cool it is. Like, you are influencing people to use aimbots. That's what you're doing. Like, okay, like in the same way that so the effect of that is it makes the game worse for all people involved, right? It makes it worse for the 99 people in the game with him. It makes it worse for everyone else that's now going to use aimbots because of it. It just down the list, right? It just makes the game worse. Okay. I actually think the collusion issue with Xiff and Renaldo is that as well. And maybe this is just me talking because I come from an esports background, but to me, when you collude in an esports game, you degenerate, you marginalize the entire reason of competition in the first place. And it's a terrible thing to do because you take away legitimacy from what would be a legitimate esport. And like a legitimate thing. I think collusion is a serious issue. I think 2-week ban for collusion is absolutely ridiculous. And you can't conclusively prove that collusion happened, but just like Riot Games does, where it's like, okay, like we're going to launch an investigation, right? This isn't a court of law. This is a video game publisher. We're going to launch an investigation. We believe beyond reasonable doubt that collusion did happen, and we're going to enforce that this way. I do think that the way that Fortnite issued these two bans, Epic Games, I should say, is inconsistent. That Jarvis gets a ban for indefinitely, and Xiff and Renaldo pretty clearly colluded in a pro tournament and were banned for 2 weeks. That seems like pretty iffy to me. And I would say that Renaldo and Xiff should get really, really way harsher punishments than this. Now, Jarvis is an interesting case on if he should be permabanned or not. So an Epic Games spokesman told Sun and TMZ, we have a zero tolerance policy for the use of cheat software. When people use aimbots or other cheat technologies to gain unfair advantage, they ruin games for people that are playing fairly, right? Double over, that's true for people that are using aimbots and then making content about them. So there's no doubt in my mind that Jarvis should have been banned for this. And there's no doubt in my mind that there should be a very harsh punishment attached to this. I don't know if the punishment should be permanent. And look, I will take every opportunity I have to trash my favorite people over at FaZe Clan. But look, like the reality is, you make dumb decisions, and deplatforming someone, the kind of equivalent of what like Epic did, over that decision permanently for the rest of their life, when their entire income source and their entire like story is that thing. I'm not sure that's right. And here's where I don't know if what I have to say has like a lot of value. Like it's not, like I said, like this is a very opinionated piece. This is not like a lot of our other stuff we talk about, which is like, here's the data, here's what we have. Like, I don't know for sure if this should be the case. I don't know what's right here, but I also know beyond a shadow of doubt, and like that like Jarvis is going to get unbanned. Like there's no way that you have like 2 million subs. It might be a year, it might be like 2 years, it might be like 3 years or whatever. But Jarvis is going to get unbanned. It's just going to happen. He's got a lot of time. He's just now creating content. Like, there's no way that he is going to be permabanned by Epic. I don't think they're going to triple down and they're going to sit there and they're going to ban Jarvis forever for this. I do think eventually, I mean, even Valve lifted their quote, indefinite bans. And in the Steam community guidelines, it says we can issue up to an indefinite ban. You know, we can issue up to a permanent ban. It's not necessarily tried and true in the community guidelines. It actually reads we can issue up to that. The maximum punishment is a permanent ban. We can do anything in between that. So they're not bound by their own like rules necessarily to do that either. So I would say I would err on the side of saying that Jarvis probably shouldn't be permabanned. I think you're really dumb when you're 17. I was really dumb when I was 17. Most of us were really dumb when we were 17. I think some kind of like year-long ban or maybe even longer might have been more appropriate. But Epic is in the very difficult spot of it's like, okay, if our ban is not harsh enough, we encourage people to do this. And if our ban is too harsh, you know, we get flack as a company. So I don't really know what to do here. You know, maybe what they should have done was just ban FaZe because FaZe didn't let. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I think that's where I leave it. I'm not sure what the right answer is. I would say definitely a ban that was a lot longer than a lot shorter than permanent, but a lot longer than 2 weeks. And for anyone that wants to make the argument that it's like, well, he had a platform of 2 million people, and if they set the precedent that this is okay for people to do, then it could potentially impact the game in a really negative way. I don't disagree with you. I actually don't disagree with you. I think that's a pretty legitimate take to have on this. What I would counter with is there is just as much value in sort of reforming and transforming a person where you give them a very harsh punishment, but you work with them to improve, and they go back to creating content for your game and for your platform, and understanding that was a mistake that they moved past, and that you moved past that with Epic together. So maybe Epic can revisit this and say, like, look, do a video, like let's work with you on a video where like you understand like what you did, and that we're bringing you back on that sort of redemption arc type of narrative. You know what I mean? We like a good story where the hero takes a fall and then they come back and because like we in our life are this is going to get kind of philosophical, sorry, in a Fortnite video. But we are the amalgamation of our mistakes. We are what we are. Our success as human beings. We're the summary of all the things that we did before, that we did wrong, that we learned from. That's really what we are. And sometimes if you put your hand on a hot stove and then somebody says, don't do that, and then you keep doing it, you know, there are irreconcilable consequences in life, or irreversible consequences in life. You could burn your hand so bad that you lose your hand, and then that's it, right? And the question is this the kind of punishment that warrants? Like, did Jarvis, by uploading a video, deserve a punishment that is a lifelong sentence, literally, right? Or is there some redemption to be had there? And I would argue that I think that if he can prove over time that he's learned his lesson, and if he goes above water and, you know, really tries to move in a direction of acting in accordance with, like, you know, honor and doing well, I think that an option for redemption should be there. That's my personal opinion. And I think this comes down to, like, how much faith do you want to give humanity or not? Again, there's an argument that could be said that's like, look, the dude set a massive precedent by putting an aimbot video up for 2 million subscribers. And that has an effect on the game that that can't be overstated. Okay, yeah, I would sit here and agree with that. I just think that the story gets more interesting if you have the redemption in there, and he comes back as a legit content creator at some point, working with Epic to resolve this problem. It's a better end to that story than, like, and then everyone died. The end, right? Like, and I think that's even true for people that collude in pro tournaments. I'm like, for me personally, right? I'm way more passionate about the colluding thing than, like, the upload a YouTube thing. And I'm trying really hard in this talk to not, like, show my bias there, but that bias is 100% there. Like, I think if you compete in a tournament and that you collude, you should absolutely be permanent banned, because the precedent you're setting is you're illegitimizing in the same way that you always, like, use, like, steroids in a freaking, like, Olympic competition. Like, you should be out, because you're devaluing the entire competition, right? That's a serious thing. So to get banned for 2 weeks for this is crazy. Whether or not it was conclusive, it's pretty conclusive. You look at the evidence again. Like, if you beyond a reasonable doubt can show that, like, get him out of here. That is a serious offense. So I think Epic is losing a lot of points here and being really inconsistent with their ban policy. But yeah, I think even for these guys, as strongly as I feel about that, come back in a few years, have been playing the game legitimately and at above water, and make a very, I think, like, you know, personal type of video. It's like, look, we messed up, and like we're trying to be better, and do that. I think that you should have the option for redemption, and I say the option for. So look, like, if you're still gonna be a cruddy person, and you're still going to upload like questionable content, and you're still going to be like that. And like, this might take a couple years to do, so the ban might be a few years. But there's a big difference between like a 3-year sentence and a lifetime sentence, right? There's a big difference between these two things. Jarvis is 17. He might not even have it figured out by the time he's 20 or 25. Like, for some people, like for me, dude, it took a long time for me I had to get like real old for me to like figure out how to stop being a douche. And I'm still a douche, right? In a lot of ways. But I'm like getting a little bit better. So it might take him a really long time, but like if he can come back, I think that redemption door should be open. And that's why I kind of like using the word indefinite over permanent for this reason. But those are just some thoughts. I think redemption should be open to pretty much anybody in this case that wants to try to improve themselves, and there should be like some method of showing that is like the case. So that would be where I'm at. Yeah, but like I said, I also acknowledge the people that disagree with that, and I don't disagree here. I'm being very centrist in this argument, but I see both sides of it. I do think that perma-betting him sets like a huge precedent. It's like people are going to be like, whoa, I'm never doing that. But at the same time, I think that precedent can be set, and you could still bring him back in a few years if he's learned his lesson. If he hasn't, yeah, keep him banned, whatever. Don't matter. Yep, that's my take. That's what I think. Did I miss anything? Let's see if I missed anything about the actual subject matter. I don't think I did. Even Valve brought him back.